You can repeat the right words and still live from the old default. That is where a lot of people get confused. They think the problem is that they did not affirm enough. They think they need to repeat the sentence more times. They think they need to force the belief harder. But sometimes the real issue is not what you are saying. It is what you automatically return to when life gives you a choice, because your default reveals the state you are actually living from. Not the state you wish you were living from, the state that still feels most familiar. For example, you may repeat, I am confident. But then you get into a meeting, a conversation, or a moment where your voice matters. And before you even notice it, you soften your opinion. You add extra explanations. You say, I don't know, maybe this is just me. You make the idea smaller before anyone else even responds. Not because confidence is impossible, but because the old default is still trying to protect you from being judged. Or maybe you say, I am supported, but someone offers to help you. Someone offers to take something off your plate. Someone gives you an easier option. And before you even check in with yourself, you say, no, it's okay. I'm fine. Even though you are tired, even though the help would actually support you, even though a part of you wanted to receive it. The word said one thing, but the default response said something else. Or maybe you say, I deserve better. But when a better opportunity appears, your body hesitates. You start thinking about all the reasons you are not ready. You delay the application. You avoid the conversation. You choose the smaller option because the bigger one asks you to be seen differently. And then you wonder why nothing is changing. But something is being revealed. Your desire is new. Your words may be new. But your default is still choosing from the old identity. This is not something to shame yourself for. Defaults are learned. They come from repetition. They come from old emotional patterns. They come from the version of you that learned how to stay safe. If you are used to being criticized, shrinking may have become your default. If you are used to being overlooked, over-explaining may have become your default. If you are used to doing everything alone, rejecting help may have become your default. If you are used to disappointment, expecting the worst, may have become your default. So when you begin changing your state, the old default may still show up first. Not because the new state is fake, but because the old response has been practiced longer. This matters deeply in the manifesting state, because the manifesting state is not just what you repeat when you feel focused. It is the identity you return to in ordinary moments, when someone misunderstands you, when an opportunity opens, when help arrives, when silence appears, when something feels uncertain, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching. Those moments show you where the state is becoming real, because the new identity is not only proven by what you say in your mind, it is proven by what becomes natural in your behavior. At first, the old default may answer before you do. You may still shrink. You may still over-explain. You may still reject help. You may still assume the worst. You may still choose the familiar option. But now something is different. You notice it. You catch the pattern. You feel the difference between who you used to be and who you are becoming. That awareness is important, because the moment you notice the default, you are no longer fully asleep inside it. You can pause. You can choose again. You can make the new state practical, not dramatic, practical. You can speak the sentence without shrinking it. You can accept the help without apologizing for needing it. You can send the email instead of talking yourself out of the opportunity. You can let the calm moment stay calm without creating a problem. You can choose the option that matches the identity you say you are becoming. That is how the state stabilizes, not by repeating words forever while living from the opposite assumption, but by letting the new assumption begin changing your default response. This is where many people miss the real work. They keep trying to feel the new identity in a perfect way. But the real question is, what do I automatically do when I am not trying to perform the state? That question will show you a lot. When you receive a compliment, do you let it land or immediately deflect it? When someone respects your boundary, do you trust it or feel guilty? When a better opportunity appears, do you prepare or disappear? When your life gets calmer, do you rest or search for a problem? When you make progress, do you receive it or start looking for how it could fall apart? Your automatic response is not there to punish you. It is there to show you what still feels familiar. And once you can see it, you can work with it. The goal is not to attack the old default. The goal is to stop letting it lead every decision, because fighting yourself keeps you stuck in pressure. But noticing the default gives you power. You can say, this is the old response. This is the pattern I used to live from. This is not the identity I am choosing now. Then you choose one small, aligned action, not 10. Not a whole personality transformation in one day. One aligned action. You speak clearly once. You receive once. You rest once. You apply once. You let the silence exist once. You stop explaining once. You let the new state touch one real moment. And that is how the automatic pattern begins changing. Small repeated choices become the new normal. The new normal becomes the new identity. And the new identity becomes the state you live from without forcing it. That is when affirmations become embodiment, not because you repeated the sentence perfectly, but because the sentence started changing how you move, how you choose, how you respond, how you receive, how you carry yourself, when life gives you the chance to go back to the old default. So if you have been repeating the right words, but still noticing old reactions, do not panic. Do not assume nothing is working. Look at the default, not to judge yourself, to understand what is still automatic, then practice one new response. Because the manifesting state becomes real when the new identity stops being something you repeat and starts becoming the way you naturally respond. Subscribe and enter your manifesting state.